lady had a coffee shop during the day and a lounge in the evening. And it sounds to me like that might work, something like that might work. Maybe there's some people, anybody in education, teachers? Okay. I'm going to turn back to the little heads and see what we visualize. What would it look like in a community to have music? What would it look like?
Well, what was community look like? If you bring all the genres of music back to the community, that would be a great thing for the community. I mean, if you look at music in general, the different genres of music, rap music, how it all has been split up, but that was once upon a time where all black music was not split up. I remember growing up, listening to the radio, and when you listen to music, you hear everything, all kinds of music, even down to country western, black music. Yes. So the industry itself, they cause a split. They cause a split. They separate the blues from the rest of all the other music. So they pretty much will put the music in a category on their own, of which they pretty much will can control. This is basically what's going on with the music. Now, I was just looking at something ain't too long ago. Blues music is being played all on the radio, it's being played all around the world. They made $18 billion. $18 billion. And just playing blues music alone. Okay? But the sad part about that, out of that $18 billion that they took in, ain't none of that money going to artists like me and others. And yet our music being playing all around the world. But they don't feel as though that we should be paid for our profession. So, me personally, I think that should be reparations for black musicians. Because we have been people that have been exploited for way too long. They make all this money off of us. They feel good while we still live in the community and still live poor. And that's a shame. Because it's how they, I just really tell it like it is. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I just tell you straight up. It's all a form of control, power, and money. That's what it is. That's what this is all about. Okay? And if they feel as though they can control you, that's where they want to have you at. But I'm not part of none of that system. Because I know it's a corrupt system. It's corrupt. The music business in Hollywood has always been corrupt. I don't care what they're doing out there, but they have always been corrupt. When it comes to us as black people, they have always been unfair to us. So now maybe it's time for them to start recognizing and being fair. And it's one thing I want to say. What is it saying? I heard the president say, well, we're going to make America great again. America will never be great again. Thank you.
Well, I would just like to say in terms of my vision of the blues, I think we need to get it in smaller venues, again, starting with the schools. I used to teach in the schools myself. The latter years I was a substitute teacher, but I actually did teach for a while. And that was one of the things, is trying to use music, and blues in particular, as a form of inspiration. Again, as I said before, almost all kids instinctively react to the rhythm of the blues.
Yes.
And I've seen even kids of other ethnic groups. I was playing downtown one time, and there was a kid maybe less than 2 years old, and he was listening to me, and his mother wanted to take him out for, maybe 5 or 6 minutes of listening to me. And he just had the biggest tantrum you've ever seen, And again, this is a kid, 2 years old, roughly, of a non-African American heritage. So again, that instinctive thing is there. But I think we need to move in the schools. One of the things I don't think we've done is really put together an instructional format to present the blues. Because so many blues will, like myself, I'm a solo artist. If you're gonna put blues into more of a choral type of environment, that probably takes a different approach. I don't know how many people have done that, One of the things I've been trying to envision is, I used to do it with my daughter, just in terms of us playing harmonica together, sometimes in unison, and then letting each other, solo and freelance. So that's one of the things, we get it in the schools, get it back into small, for instance, I've played at a number of art galleries. We did have art gallery roughly around Chicago Avenue and Pulaski called Silent Funny, and I was able to perform there several times, and some other things happened that kind of fell apart. And that's one of my main niches now, is playing in art galleries. And I play a lot in Pilsen, doing that. And I kind of get these gigs when people see me performing outside. But I think we need to get back to the outdoors markets. And of course, the classic place is Maxwell Street. And I was probably the last regular performer at Maxwell Street. I don't know if you've been around lately, but it's pretty much falling apart. It's surviving, but just barely. So we can get that, and the same thing with the clubs. I'm older now, so I don't fully know what a younger person's concept of a club is. Back in the day, we went to clubs, speaking of the 70s, when disco and all that was going, disco, funk, R&B, blues, jazz, reggae. So we had all these things, and we had clubs that sometimes catered to a particular genre, and you also had clubs that were multi-dimensional. You could hear blues, jazz, funk, reggae, all at the same night. So, again, going back to the outdoors thing, Larry and myself were just talking about the Mississippi Delta Fish House. Ruffin Jackson and Kesey was one of the greatest outdoor presentations of blues you could see north of the Mason-Dixon. So I envision that, we can get back some clubs and some other venues. I think we can get the blues back, but like I said, it has to be also on the radio. It's just not on the radio enough.
The community got to support it.
Right. We have to support it, and I think the community will support it if they see the artists. One of the things I hate is that, and I think several people have already alluded to, is that the kids are not playing instruments anymore. If you listen to most musical presentations, you got a synthesized drum sound and a synthesized keyboard sound. So nobody's really playing per se. And what happens is kids miss all of the enrichment you get from actually playing an instrument. ear training, rhythm training, the intellectual part of learning harmony, theory, and all these things, and we miss out on that, you know. And you know, for instance, myself, you know, I'm kind of going through some things personally, but you know, just being able to play my guitar at home, you know, I can't even put it in words, you know, how enriching it is to me personally. So I just think if we can get the blues and music in general and multi-dimensional, but we have to get our kids playing again. They just simply not playing. When we were coming up, one of the things we used to have was talent shows, you know, where people would compete, singing, playing, what have you. Literally now you might have a little rap battles here and there, but nothing like we used to have. And I think we need that. And if we can blend that and get it out there and make it culturally relevant. And again, there's also, you know, it's been alluded to, there's a financial aspect of that too. You know, you can make a living playing music. For the most part, kids don't see that as a possibility other than rap now. The average kid does not see the thought of maybe being a jazz musician, blues musician. So I think if we get those opportunities possible, we can again enrich our community and enrich our people and give them some vision of you know, where the music comes from, because this music ultimately comes from the motherland, you know, and that's what we're missing out. That's one of my contentions. The confusion we see today is because we still don't have a real connection to the motherland of a culture that is thousands of years. Well, it's, you know, it's basically since the beginning of humans. So if we could make a connection there in the musical connection, because again, the rhythm is there. And one of the most interesting things to me is to find the most untutored blues musicians and listen to how they play. And because they haven't been formed and taught, they have so many of the instincts of the motherland, you know. And I think that's what we're missing is the cultural connection. And again, ultimately, the whole gamut of life, you know, it's a financial, social, economic, health, everything all goes together. So that's my vision. I'm not gonna talk any longer.
Yeah, I'd like to speak on what Ms. just said, because bringing it back to the schools, that's very important. You know, there's no music in the schools no more. There's no Black history being taught in our communities in the schools anymore. You know, I mean, when you actually speaks, want to talk about media, I mean, all they basically talk about is the violence and the murders and the killings and this and that. But, you know, I never see the media over here when good things are being done in this community. Yes, do our community have all these problems? Yes, but there's also been other good things being done over here in the community, but they're not there for it. And the reason why they're not there for it is because we are not as a community coming together like we should. Like I said about like supporting the music. If they see that the community is backing the music, they'll show up. Yeah, they're gonna come. Because now they can't report no more just on guns and drugs and problems in the community. What the community actually, they're doing something constructive in the community, doing something real positive. See, they don't have no choice but to report on it. So there's another thing I wanted to say. As you go out of these doors right here, it's a West Side Artists here there. It's been there for a It's out there. It's been there a long time. And I'm one of the people that's in that artist unit. Some of my family members, my dad, he's out there in that artist unit, right along with some of the older blues players, Howard Wolf and Otis Rush and Magic Sam, and all these people were West Siders. They come from the West Side. This is where the blues basically started at, on the West Side. When people from other cultures wanted to come hear the blues, they would come to the West and South Side of Chicago, not the North Side, not downtown. So what they did was, when they started redistricting the district, they took all the music out of our communities and they put it on the North Side and put it downtown where they could control. Okay, so now if you want to hear the blues, well, you gotta go downtown to where the guys, somewhere where the guys lives, or go up north to Blue Chicago or Kingston Mines. You know what I'm saying? Well, why people go up there when we can have the same thing right here in our own community? The very things that they doing, it started right here. You know, they just took it further and they just took over, just took it away from us. And said, well, we're gonna take it, we're gonna explore it, we're gonna make the money off of it. And that's exactly what they've been doing, because I played all over this city. I remember when that was closed, all around on this west side. I played from everywhere from Roosevelt Road on all the way back to Main Street, from west to east. I knew every club. Okay, I was there, and I played many years, shared the bandstand with a lot of great musicians. Many are not here no more. But that's another reason why I keep the music going, is to keep the memory of these artists going, keep their legacy alive. And this is what I do as an artist. I keep their legacy alive with my own legacy, because this music is very important. It's very important that we do this, you know. So all we need to do is just come together and, like I said, support our non-profit organization for blues. Because see, we want to have more shows here, but we also need to have more venues where we can have live entertainment. I mean, they need no live entertainment over here on the west side. You don't have no live entertainment. And most of all, what the west side definitely needs. The west side definitely needs, I would think, would be a musical culture center for all black genre of music. You know, all that here down to gospel, everything, because it's all connected. It's black music. See, they separate the genres and call it this and call it that and call it that. But back in the day, all black music was considered as black urban music. Black urban music. That was the name. Black urban music. Okay? They didn't separate soul from blues or R&B from blues. All of them had a connection, because all those black artists had a connection to each other. See, each other pretend like there was no connection. There's a connection. History shows that. You go look at any musical video back in the day, and you will see exactly what I'm saying. That you will see that. That you will definitely see. So, me personally, I've been doing this music now 50 years. Okay? And I haven't given up not one time on my vision of what I'm trying to do. My thing is to, like Vince said, is to bring a new bunch of musical people in our community together and have them start them playing real instruments again. And then for sure, then we would know that our music legacy and our history will be safe then. We know it will be safe. But the way it's been done, it's been picked apart. They just don't tore it all to pieces now, you know. And it's not good. It's not good at all. So it's hard, yes. Is it hard on me as an artist? Yeah. It's very hard because some of the people that I have to deal with politically, no, they don't really want me to do what I'm doing. But you know what? I don't care. I'm doing what I feel is right. As long as I feel what I'm doing is right, most likely, it can be two things: be successful or don't be successful. But the thing is, you just don't give up on it because someone else don't like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If we based it on that, it would never be no music. Music would never be created in the black community if everybody just throw up their hands and say, because you don't like it, well, we ain't gonna do it. No. Once it got established, everybody likes it. Now, and it seems funny that all cultures around the world, they love our music. And they even imitate us, be just like us. I can understand. They can play the music. They can imitate us and play the music. They never play the music like we play the music. Because it's our music. We created it. We the teacher. You know. So, but the way it has done is that black artists now have been put to the bottom and other cultures have been pushed to the top because of the industry. They put their money behind whoever they want. You think they should be putting their money behind artists like me with years and years of experience that I have, Vince got? No, they're not doing that. And the reason why they don't want to do that is because they know if they do that, there's going to be other people and other young people in the community going to become interested in what we're doing. And they don't want them doing it. They want to keep them confused. They want to keep them out there shooting guns, killing each other, and selling drugs. Yeah, that's what they want. That's all they want for our community. But our community is better than that. Our community is way better than all the killing, the violence. You know, it's funny how they get, when something violent happens. Them black people over there on the west side and the south side, they real bad because all they know is violence. But you see, what we got to understand, we didn't engineer the violence. It didn't start with us. We didn't engineer none of this. We just doing what a system has already done. Okay? So, but I was telling her, because someone starts something, if they start a system, you don't have to be a part of that system, particularly if it's no good for the community. We don't have to be no part of that. Let them be what they want to be, do what they want to do, but we don't have to do that. We can be better. We are better. I put it like that. We are better. We're some of the greatest people in the world. We'll prove that in everything. Music, sports, movies, everything. We dominant. And they know we dominant. Okay, do you think without us that an industry like that could make a lot of money? In sports and movies and music and all that? No. They need black people. Okay? They need black people. But what they don't want is smart, educational black people who know what's going on, like me. I'm one of them. The industry, they turned their back on me because I'm smart and because I know what they're doing. See, I know everything they're doing. So they can't pull nothing over on me. So now we can't use him because we can't control him. No, you can't control me. I got free will. I have my own free will. God gave us all free will. He gave us all that right to have free will and use it as we choose to use it, long as it's right. Okay? And we don't let no one take that free will from you. And that's what they have been trying to do for over the last 50 years to me. I'm trying to tell y'all, as an artist, take it all away. You know. It's kind of funny when you get a lot of black people and we come together and we assemble. First thing here come the police. Well, you got to break it up. Think about it. They did the same thing back in slavery. They did the same thing to black people in slavery. They didn't want black people to gather in slavery. And as it was back in them days, it's still the same thing today. They're still trying to play the same trick today. But we got to be smarter than that. We got to be smarter than that. And one of the most important things that black people could do today, this war is started, stay out of it. It's not our war. We didn't start it. Okay? Why should our sons and daughters be going over there dying for something that they didn't even start, while other people, they reap the benefits from it? Oh, you're a patriot, as long as you go over there and fight. But when you tell them you ain't gonna go over there and fight, you ain't no patriot no more. And think about this, and then even after you go over there and fight, and then when you come back, you know what I'm saying? You ain't a patriot no more. I tell you what they call you. When you come back, you a nigger. That's what you is when you come back. So I'm just breaking it down on really how it really is. See, I've been through these experiences. I know many other black people have been through these experiences. Mothers, I tell all y'all, if you got kids, grandkids, keep them away from the war. It's not their war. Keep them away from it. Because they're going to go over there and die for something that they don't even understand. I understand well what's going on and why the war is taking place. This war has nothing to do with us. For as long as there's been a war, we have fought in it to liberate everybody else. Okay, we're going to fight. Let's liberate ourselves. Let's liberate ourselves. And I don't necessarily mean through violence. There's many forms and ways of liberation. This is what I'm saying. See? But most of the young people today, there's a lot of young millennials, they know this already. Yeah. They know this already. But then there's a lot of them don't know it. And another thing, the connection between the elders and the young people. Now, the reason why a lot of the younger people today don't connect to their elders, because a lot of the elders are still trapped up in an old system of politics. And that's just unacceptable for the kids today, even in school. See, they need a new educational curriculum for the kids today, where your kids is hyper and you need to get your child some help. Ain't nothing wrong with your child. It's just the problem is that it's a system just cannot keep up with them. And you need a whole new educational curriculum to keep up with the young minds of the young people today. Because they are brilliant. They are brilliant. Even though the things you see what's going on out there, but in the inside of them, they are really brilliant. And the system, they knows it. They knows it. So I just say that. Just we keep our kids out of the war. You know, I mean, do just like a lot of people did. Like they tried to get Muhammad Ali to go to the war. He told them no. He say one thing for sure. He said no Viet Cong never called me nigger. So what I'm gonna go over there and kill some innocent people for you? Okay, black people have been dying, just dying and dying and dying for nothing, and nothing. You know, I mean, if you think about reparations and all these various things, yes, we should get reparations. I mean, because black people were here in America way long before the Atlantic trade slave. We were here, already here. And they seized land, they stole property, they did a great many things. So, yes. Here you go. Thank you.